What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Simply JR, back with another YouTube video. And today we're going to be going over my top-down analysis and every trade that I took this week to be 100% green on the week. This is going to be a banger. Okay. All right. We're going to start off with Monday. Let's get straight into it. And we will be doing it in a way where we can see the top-down analysis as if I hadn't taken the trade. And we're going to be going through it in a way where you can keep up, right? So, what do we see Monday? Starting off, the 4 hour was different. I do not remember what I took Monday, but what I would do if I had to restart is let me get rid of all these drawings. Don't know if I'm gonna regret that later. I'm gonna have this marked out here. Okay, this is sell side, and then I'm gonna have buy side marked right here, and I'm gonna understand that this right here is a rejection block, okay? The reason it's a rejection block, sweep of liquidity into probably like a daily. Yeah. So off rip, I am bearish Monday because if we look at the market structure, we just inverted this entire daily gap right here. So based off of that alone, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking that we are a bit bearish. And what we can target is previous day low, and then we have some relative equal lows over here and some stack lows over here. So based off of that, I'm like, okay, I would love to get some shorts. Right? So coming into the day, what do we see? Um, I used to do sessional power threes, but I don't really use it too much, but in this case, this looks pretty clean. So we got a accumulation, manipulation, London. We got the dump. So um, you want to see price get down to this low right here, right? Now, I am not, super married to my bias. I'm a very reactive person, right? So I have a few things that I'm willing to mark out. So right at market open, we had already taken out this liquidity. And so I didn't really get the chance for a buying opportunity, but I was still relatively bearish. And at this point, I'm just waiting, right? So after seeing this big move up, um, keep going. I didn't really get an entry around here. And I think oh yeah, this was my entry right here. Okay, so what do we see here? And this is perfect to me, right? So off rip, we have this liquidity right here. We have these engineered highs, we have these stacked relative equal highs, and then we have this bearish gap, right? So if we do decide to come up here, this is a premium bearish gap. This would be a great place to short from. On top of that, I don't want to really see London highs get hit because we already mitigated this gap right here. And so we're delivering from this gap overall. So when we come up and we sweep that liquidity at this point, now I'm like, okay, if I can take the highest inversion to the downside, I'd be open to doing so because I am still bearish. Just because we get this big move up does not necessarily mean that I'm flipping my bias to bullishness because I'm still following the highest time frame drawn liquidity. And in this case, the highest time frame is delivering from this daily gap. And we hit this rejection block right here. So with that being said, once we get this sweep of liquidity into this gap, if it shows me some bearish confluences and inverts a gap down, I would be willing to take this. So a 5 minute inversion to the downside was presented, and that was the best case scenario because a 5 minute is obviously takes like 5 minutes of order flow. That's why I kind of like higher time inversions because the higher the inversion, the more order flow that's shown. And then so I enter right here and I'm targeting only right to down here, right? Because I don't need to be right. I just need to make bread. That's all it comes down to. I don't need to target all the way down here because You never really know with price conditions how it's going to be. So, um, it could be something like this, you know, it hit right here and then maybe come all the way back up to my break even right here. And then, just like take some time to get down there, right? And I don't need to be a part of that procedure. I just need to make my bread. And so I know at the very least we can come down to this low. So that's what we did. And we got clean delivery and obviously delivering off of this daily gap. I don't expect this 15-minute to hold. Mind you, I am going break even at this 15-minute low. All right, so I'm break even right here. The reason I go break even right here is because we should be disrespecting bullish PD arrays if we are bearish, meaning we should just slide straight to it, meaning no reaction from these PD arrays whatsoever. It's like the ICT concept will automatically disappear once we go into a different cycle of order flow. So, we want to go break even, and guess what? When we hit it, we just go straight through it. Not really much of a reaction, and then we ultimately hit full TP. So that's Monday. Um, Tuesday. If we look at Tuesday, all right, here's Tuesday, 10 o'clock, right? So Tuesday, we go to the daily. We have um we hit previous day low. That's good. And we're still rejecting. So if we treat this like the 1 minute, like this looks like we should at least go down to this low. So that's an obvious strong liquidity. And then on the 4 hour, we're obviously just creating bearish PD arrays. And we have just obvious low right here. So, and we have more lows below it. We have this low and then we have this low as well. So that just seems very, very simple and easy to me. So Tuesday, I'm looking for some shorts. Off rip. I think everybody's looking for shorts at this point because we are at the perfect part of price where we're just delivering cleanly down to these lows. We have no reason to really go up from here. So I'm pretty sure everybody's looking for shorts. Um, and so what am I seeing here on the lower time frames? On the 1 hour, I am seeing this. I'm seeing like I do, you can mark out your buy side and you can mark out your sell side and then the sell side right here. All right. So off rip, I'm only taking trades to low hanging fruit because I'm just trying to win. Right. That's how you get your bread up. And so I have buy side marked out and sell side marked out right here, right? But let me explain to you why I do not want this buy side taken. The reason I don't want this buy side taken is mainly because of this 1 hour gap here. If we treat the 1 hour like the 1 minute, treat the 1 hour like the 1 minute, once we invert this gap, that is clear signs of delivery, and therefore these highs should be protected, in my opinion, right? You do not want a signature of bad price action is us inverting a higher time frame gap and then reclaiming that gap. That's just bad price action, at least if you trade ICT. So you don't want this gap reclaimed. And we have this VI right here. So obviously I'm not anticipating or predicting that this VI gets hit, but in this instance it did. And on top of that, London did mitigate this order block or CST, whatever you want to call it. So, um, this to me is just a protected high in my opinion, right? And if you look on the lower time frames, like the 5 minute, as you can see, we're just chopping around. So this is setting up for a really nice power three. And then on the 1 minute, we come down right at 9:30 and then we leave this swing low. So instead of chasing price to this sell side and taking like a 30-second inverse to the downside here or limiting a 30-second for value gap, um, I'd rather wait for buy side to be taken. I don't I don't trade um without a manipulation or at least buy side or sell side being taken. I'm not going to take a continuation without some sort of manipulation first. So once we left this swing low here, this failure swing, this is just basically an equal low. So okay, this is an easy TP spot, right? And we're already chopping beforehand, so you don't really want to be caught up in like the terrible delivery. And we didn't have news today or the day before that or the day following. So you got to keep that in mind. So here's that 1 hour gap that was inversed. and right at 9:30, all these engineered highs get taken out. So this is low resistance liquidity, and we immediately take it out, and then we hit this 1 minute gap. We ultimately respect it in this 1 hour VI. So to me, that was great manipulation, and we get this V-shaped recovery. So I enter here. My stop is originally up here because I'm understanding the price action is not the best. And if we come up higher, because if my stop's right here, I'm going to be targeting down here. But if we come up higher, right here, in which we did, and then give a decent delivery back down. I add more because we're respecting this for value gap now. I add more. My stop is right here. Now I'm full positioning right here. And now I don't need a 2.34 RR. I could just take this right here and just get out. And so that's what I took. Could I have held and gone down to here? Yeah, but I would have got break even. You see why I just take my piece of the pie and get out. So that was clean to me, and that was Tuesday. Wednesday, we didn't get a trade, so I'm not going to show that. The reason why I didn't trade Wednesday was because we just skyrocketed off rip, and we were way too premium to take longs, and we were way too bullish to take shorts. So I wasn't really interested in shorts. Even though some people did take those shorts, I personally just want to take the most obvious setup on earth, and that just wasn't too obvious to me, so I didn't trade Wednesday. Coming into Thursday, let's see here, 8 and then 9. Let's see Thursday. So off rip Thursday, I noticed that we are delivering from buy side. So what I'm thinking to myself is, okay, I want this high taken out, and this just seemed pretty fair to me, right? But I also understand that this is a daily rejection block, and I understand it's a 4 hour rejection block. But off rip, I am looking for longs. It just made sense because we just came up, we good delivery. We're delivering from this 4 hour right here. And to me, I just think off rip, we should just get to this buy side. So I'm looking for longs off rip on Thursday. Now, did I take longs? No, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Um, go back on the lower time frame and we go to 9:30's opening. What do we see? We see a bunch of, this is 9:30. We see a bunch of chop, and I realize that we have NFP data lows right here. So it's like, okay, if I want longs, I want data lows to be taken out since at 9:30 we didn't immediately explode up. So at this point, if we're chopping, I'm looking for power three to the downside, and it's gonna look something like where's the drawing board? Wanted 9:30 to open up. So here's what I wanted to see for longs. I wanted 9:30 to do something like this, come down to like equilibrium with the range, and then maybe a little something like this, and then back to buy side, something really clean. Sorry, this point is just something really clean. But Thursday we just started chopping, So I'm like, okay, right? Whatever, makes sense to me, I'll take. So I did 100% want this NFP low taken out first before we get longs though. That just made the most sense to me. So the reason I didn't take these shorts is because it just seemed super choppy, didn't really leave out of the range. So I didn't take this, even though we had an SMT top. It just didn't look good. I didn't like the close on this, and I would rather have waited for the sell side, and I would rather have just taken longs at this point. But when we came up like that, and we took out this high right here, and then we got this V-shaped recovery to the downside. I personally was convinced that we'd go for NFP lows, especially after leaving these engineered lows right here. So it was just low resistance liquidity all the way down to NFP lows, and I wanted um shorts because if you just look at this entire range, this needs a power three. This just seemed way too accumulated, way too congested and needs to flush in order for me to get long. So that's what I was looking for, and it just would have been nice. And yeah, to me it just would have been nice to get short there. And so we didn't, unfortunately. We stopped me out first, and came up and I could see I didn't flip my bias or I didn't necessarily flip myself from okay, now I'm gonna only look for longs because if you look at this delivery to the upside, like we're still producing a lot of low resistance liquidity, and that to me is just the perfect setup for a nice run to the downside to take the sell side. So the reason I'm not waiting for that run and I'm just gonna take the shorts is because this low resistance liquidity is just so free. So um, we get a 10 a.m. open, and when 10 a.m. open like this, and then came back down, and then we get a 30-second inverse to the downside. I'm not on alpha tick, so I can't show you. I take this, and I was going to target all the way down here, and that would have been a 4 to 5.3. And we came down. It went break even once we showed some displacement, so I went break even at this low, and I started trailing. I trailed to like right here because I wanted to get some of my loss back, and luckily I did because we ultimately came back and hit my trail, and we came all the way back up. Now, the reason I did not take this 5 minute inverse to the upside is pretty simple. This just doesn't look good. We didn't sweep liquidity and we didn't sweep this low. So to me, it's like, okay, like if I were to take this 5 minute and it didn't close to right here, it looks something like this, and then like this, and then go break even right here. So, given that the delivery just wasn't good and on the, I mean, it was just very mid. I just didn't like it. So I didn't take it and I would have got break even. If anything, actually, I don't even think I would have been able to get into my short that I took, which was right over here. So I took these shorts, especially I took the 2 minute because the 2 minute close very clean and with all this low resistance in this third failure swing, now it's like okay, this for sure should work out. So I take these shorts and I target this sell side right here. Stop loss is like right here. I take partials right here. Took my partials right here. And boom, we hit the sell side. So now looking back at it, I definitely should have kept my full position all the way to the full sell side because I would have made a lot more money. But at this point, I just want to secure a nice winning day, and I did, and I made around 500, 600 this day. So it's whatever. Got my piece of the pie, and we ultimately dumped like hella. We dumped hella. So, maybe if I was lucky enough to hold, I'd be in Miami right now. But unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. Now, looking at Friday, I think that was my only L looking back at it, like this entire week. So, going to Friday, very, very clean, very obvious. We hit this major sell side. So after hitting this major sell side, the next sell side is literally not until all the way down here. So um, at this point, I think this is the main sell side that we wanted to target for us to get higher, at least for the day. And on top of that, if you look at the weekly, this is sell side sitting inside this weekly for value gap. So this to me is obvious longs. And look at the 4 hour, right? We have this 4 hour gap that I want to see taken, I delivered to at the very least. And we go to 1 hour. We have this no wick devil's mark at at open. I think this is yeah, right here at 3 o'clock. So that just seemed super obvious. We had engineered liquidity sitting right below that 4 hour. It just seems super clean. And then we inversed this 1 hour. So to me, we are disrespecting bullish bearish PDRAs, respecting bullish PDRAs, and I just want to take some longs. And so here's the long I took. So I'll go over this long and why I didn't take it. If you just look here, this is still inside this range. It wasn't that good of manipulation, even with there being an SMT at the 15 minute. So that's just a bit discretion as to why I didn't take this. Um, there's an SMT right here at this point. So it was just like it just seemed not that good to take. And the what's it called? the close is this close right here is just so like iffy. So I didn't want to take that. And ultimately like when it came back down and I was like debating, I was like, nah, like I'm just not gonna take it. It's just not good. And we come down lower and guess what we tap into? We tapped into a 5 minute gap sitting inside that 15-minute gap. Now, if you know anything about stacked gaps, is the lower the time frame, the better the reaction. For example, if there's a 4 hour gap, you want to see if there's a 1 hour gap inside that 1 hour. Inside that 1 hour, you want to see if there's a 15 minute. Once it hits all those gaps in the smallest, lowest time frame gap till the 5 minute, like 1, 2, 3 minute gaps are like mid, but like at the 5 minute, if you get a 5 minute gap inside a 15 minute gap, that is a extremely good confluence, and we got an extremely good reaction out of this. And there's a 2 minute sitting right here. So I was gambling to see if the next candle, even after this candle, were to close a little bit closer to the 2 minute, and luckily it did. We get our entry right here, and we target all this low resistance liquidity right here. Now, obviously, we have this buy side that I could have targeted for more RR, but to me, I just want to get my bread and get out, and that keeps me consistent, and that's what helps me win and not get break even. And ultimately, it played out very, very nice, and I would have got break even here if I had held, and we ultimately came back up eventually, and it took us a while, but we came up and finally hit the buy side. So this to me was just bad price action at this point. So I just took my trade and got lucky and called it that. And so that was my trade recap for the entire week. That's how I go into the market thinking. Top-down analysis provided none of that extra shit, nothing else. Just that's literally it. I hope you guys enjoyed and you guys have a great rest of your day.